What if I told you that somewhere beyond the misty mountains, beyond the ancient forests where the trees whisper secrets older than time itself, beyond the glowing rivers that shimmer like liquid silver under the moonlight, there exists a kingdom unlike any other. A kingdom where the stars shine just a little brighter, where the wind carries the scent of wildflowers even in the coldest winter, where the people wake up every morning not just to survive, but to believe, to hope, to love. This kingdom has stood for centuries. It has weathered storms. It has survived wars. It has buried its kings and crowned its queens. It has laughed in the summer harvest and wept in the long, silent winters. But through it all, one thing has remained constant. One heartbeat at the very center of this kingdom that keeps it alive. And that heartbeat belongs to a princess. A princess who was never supposed to be the strongest person in the room, yet somehow always is. A princess who is never supposed to carry this much pain, yet somehow carries it with grace. A princess who wears her crown not as a symbol of power, but as a promise. A promise to her people. A promise to never stop caring. A promise to never stop hoping, even when the whole world gives her every reason to let go. Her name is Princess Elara, and this is her story. Welcome to the Kingdom of Veloria. But before we begin this journey together, before we step through the ancient gates of Veloria and into a world that will make you feel things you haven't felt in a long time, I want to say something to you directly. If you are someone who believes in kindness, if you are someone who still thinks that one gentle heart can change the world, if heartwarming stories move you, if fairy tales make something deep inside you feel real and alive again, then this channel was made for you. Seriously, this channel exists for people exactly like you. So before we go any further, hit that subscribe button right now. It is right there. One tap. And turn on the notification bell so that every single week, when a brand new story from the Kingdom of Veloria is ready for you, you'll be the first to know. You do not want to miss what is coming.
Trust me on that.
Now, let us begin. Actually, wait. One more thing before we dive in. I genuinely want to know something about you. Where are you watching this from right now? Are you sitting in California, watching this with a cup of coffee as the sun sets over the Pacific? Are you in Texas, maybe winding down after a long day? New York, rushing through your evening but still making time for a story? Florida? Georgia? Ohio? Washington? Wherever you are, I want to know. Drop your state in the comments below. Just your state, that is all. I read every single comment personally, and I want to see how far the Kingdom of Veloria has already reached on its very first day. Let us build this family together, one comment, one state, one story at a time.
All right.
Now we begin.
For real this time.
Close your eyes for just a moment. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast, ancient land. The air is cool and clean, the kind of air that fills your lungs and makes you feel, somehow, that everything is going to be all right. The sky above you is a deep velvet blue, painted with thousands of stars that seem close enough to touch. Before you stretches a valley, wide and green and impossibly beautiful, cradled between two great mountain ranges whose peaks are permanently dusted with silver snow. The mountains do not feel threatening here. They feel protective, like great, ancient guardians standing watch over everything beneath them. This is Veloria. The Kingdom of Veloria is old. Older than most kingdoms that have ever existed in the known world. Its roots go back centuries upon centuries, to a time when the land itself was said to be magical. When the rivers glowed faintly at night, with a soft golden light. When the forests were so thick and so deep that travelers claimed to hear music coming from inside them. Not human music, but something older, something that made your heart ache in the most beautiful way possible. The people of Veloria built their lives in this valley slowly and carefully, the way people build things when they know they're building something meant to last. Their villages are small and warm, clusters of stone cottages with flower boxes in the windows and smoke curling from chimneys even in summer. The cobblestone streets wind through these villages like rivers themselves, connecting one home to another, one family to another, one story to another. These are not people of great wealth. They are not famous. They do not have the grandest armies or the most powerful alliances. But they have something that many richer, more powerful kingdoms have lost somewhere along the way. They have each other. The farmers of Veloria share their harvests with neighbors who had a bad season. The healers of Veloria never turn away someone who cannot pay. The teachers of Veloria stay late after lessons to help children who are struggling, not because they are required to, but because it never occurred to them not to. This is who these people are. This is the soil that Veloria is made of, not just dirt and stone, but kindness.
Community.
An unspoken agreement between every person in this kingdom that they will look out for one another. And at the very heart of this kingdom, visible from every village, every field, every forest path, stands the castle of Veloria. It rises from a gentle hill at the center of the valley, its towers reaching toward the sky like fingers outstretched in prayer. The stone is pale and ancient, almost white in the midday sun, golden in the late afternoon, and a soft, glowing silver when the moon rises. Ivy climbs its walls in green cascades, interrupted here and there by tall windows that catch the light and scatter it like scattered diamonds across the courtyard below. From the outside, the castle of Veloria is breathtaking. It is the kind of building that makes you stop walking and simply stare. The kind of place that makes you believe, if only for a moment, that magic might actually be real. But if you look more carefully, if you look past the grandeur and the beauty and the ancient stone, you might notice something else. A quietness. A stillness. The kind that sometimes lives in places that have known too much loss. The castle is magnificent. But it carries a sadness too, a sadness tucked away in its long corridors and empty banquet halls. A sadness that lives in the echo of footsteps through rooms that used to be full of laughter and are now largely silent. A sadness that belongs, most of all, to the young woman who walks those corridors alone. Princess Elara. She is not what most people imagine when they hear the word princess. She does not sweep into rooms demanding attention. She does not wear her crown as though it makes her better than the people around her. She does not speak loudly, or command with coldness, or hold herself apart from the world the way that power sometimes teaches people to do. Princess Elara is 19 years old, and she is, without question, the most quietly remarkable person in the entire kingdom of Veloria. She is not tall in the way that seems commanding. She is the kind of tall that is graceful, without trying to be. Her hair is a deep, warm brown, and she rarely styles it elaborately. More often than not, it falls loosely around her shoulders, slightly windswept, as though she has just come in from a walk in the castle gardens. Which she probably has. Her eyes are what people notice first. They're soft, genuinely, deeply soft, in a way that makes you feel when she looks at you that she is actually seeing you. Not the version of you that you present to the world. Not your title or your status or what you can offer her. Just you. The real you. The tired, complicated, quietly hoping version of you that most people never bother to look for. When Princess Elara smiles, which she does often, even on her hardest days, it is the kind of smile that does not just change her face. It changes the room. It makes the air feel lighter. It makes the people around her stand a little straighter, breathe a little easier, feel, without quite knowing why, that things might just be okay. But it is not her appearance that makes Elara who she is. It is her heart. Princess Elara loves books, not as a hobby, but as a lifeline. The castle library is her favorite place in the world, and she has read nearly every volume in it. Not the official histories and political records, though she knows those too, but the old stories, the fairy tales, the handwritten journals of ordinary Velorians who lived centuries ago and wrote down what they saw and felt and hoped for. She reads these the way most people pray, with total attention, with something close to reverence. She loves the castle gardens at night. When the rest of the castle has gone quiet and the servants have retired, and the only light is the moon reflecting off the stone pathways, Elara walks there alone. She knows every flower by name, not their formal names, but the names she gave them herself when she was a little girl following her mother through those same paths. She loves the village children, perhaps most of all. Whenever her schedule allows, she finds reasons to visit the villages. Not in an official capacity, not with a procession or a ceremony. She simply goes. She sits with the children and listens to their stories. She brings small gifts, not expensive ones, just thoughtful ones. A pressed flower, a handwritten note, a book she thought a particular child might love. The children of Veloria adore her, and she adores them right back with a fierceness that surprises people who expect a princess to be distant. And here is what makes Princess Elara truly different from every other royal in every neighboring kingdom. She does not believe in the crown. That is to say, she believes in what the crown is supposed to represent. Service, responsibility, sacrifice, the commitment to put your people before yourself. Always, without exception, without complaint. But she does not believe the crown makes her special. She does not believe it makes her better. She has said privately, to the very few people she trusts, that she would trade the crown in a heartbeat, not for wealth or freedom or escape, but simply to be able to help people the way she wants to help them, without the weight of protocol and politics and expectation pressing down on her from every direction. Every morning, without fail, Princess Elara wakes before the rest of the castle and goes to the window at the east end of the upper corridor, a window that looks out over the valley and catches the very first light of dawn. She stands there alone, sometimes for 10 minutes, sometimes for 30, watching the sky change colors. Watching the dark fade into gray, into pink, into gold.
No one knows she does this.
It is entirely her own. She says it reminds her, at the beginning of each day, that no matter what the day brings, no matter how heavy it gets, no matter how lonely, the sun still rises. The light still comes back. It always does. But now I need to tell you something that the kingdom does not talk about openly. Because Princess Elara, for all her grace and warmth and quiet courage, is carrying something that no one her age should have to carry alone. Elara's mother, Queen Seraphine of Veloria, passed away 3 years ago. She did not die in a war or a great tragedy. She simply became ill, quietly, gradually, the way some people do, and then one morning, she was gone. And the castle that had always felt large to Elara suddenly felt infinite. Endless. A place of so many rooms and so much silence and so many things that used to belong to someone who no longer exists in the physical world. Elara's father, the king, has never recovered from the loss. He is still alive, still technically ruling, but those who know him well say that a part of him left with the queen and has not returned. He sits in his study for hours. He attends the meetings he must attend. He performs the duties that cannot be avoided. But he is not present in the way that a father needs to be present. He is not there, not really, for the daughter who needs him. And so Elara is alone. She is surrounded, of course, by staff and advisors and people who serve her and report to her and wait on her every comfort. The castle is never completely empty. There are always footsteps in the corridors, always voices somewhere in the distance. But there is a kind of loneliness that has nothing to do with how many people are physically around you. It is the loneliness of feeling unseen, unheard, of going through your hardest moments without anyone who truly knows you by your side. Elara knows that loneliness intimately. She knows what it is to sit at a dinner table meant for 20 people and eat alone. She knows what it is to have a moment of happiness, a beautiful sunset, a child's laughter in the village, a particularly lovely passage in a book, and have no one to turn to and share it with. She knows what it is to cry in the middle of the night and press your face into a pillow so that no one in the castle will hear. She also knows the particular, exhausting weight of being expected to be strong for everyone else, while having no one who is strong for her. The people of Veloria love Princess Elara. They look to her for reassurance. When times are hard, when the harvest is poor, when illness moves through the villages, when fear settles over the kingdom like a fog, they look to the castle window and they hope to see her there.
Steady, calm, certain.
And she is always there. She never lets them see her crumble. But late at night, in the garden, alone with the flowers she named herself and the moonlight and the memory of her mother's voice, Princess Elara allows herself, just for a little while, to be not a princess, just a girl. A girl who misses her mother. A girl who is tired. A girl who wonders, in her most honest and vulnerable moments, if anyone in this entire kingdom truly sees her. Not the crown, not the title, not the symbol, but her. And perhaps that is the most deeply human thing about Princess Elara of Veloria. She is lonely in a way that makes you recognize yourself. But here is what I need you to understand. Princess Elara does not let the pain win. Not because she is unnaturally strong. Not because she is above feeling it. She feels everything, deeply, fully, sometimes overwhelmingly. But somewhere inside her, in some quiet, unshakable part of her that even she cannot fully explain, there is something that simply refuses to give up. A flame that does not go out. Last winter, when the snow fell heavier than it had in 20 years and 3 of the outlying villages were completely cut off from the main kingdom, it was Princess Elara who organized the relief. Not the advisors. Not the ministers.
Elara.
She was the one who stayed awake for 2 consecutive nights, mapping routes through the snow. She was the one who personally oversaw the packing of supply carts. And when the advisors said the roads were too dangerous for a princess to travel, she put on her warmest cloak and went anyway. She did not announce it. She did not have someone record it for the royal history books. She just went. A little girl in one of those villages, 7 years old, her name was Mira, later told her grandmother that when she saw the princess arrive through the snow with the supply cart, she thought she was dreaming. That real princesses did not come to places like their village. That real princesses stayed in their castles. When someone told Elara what little Mira had said, she was quiet for a long moment. And then she said, "Then perhaps it is time we changed what real means." That is who Princess Elara is. She has a saying, something her mother told her once, when Elara was very young and frightened by a storm. Her mother held her close and whispered it against her hair, and Elara has carried it with her every day since, like a small, warm stone in her pocket. The storm does not ask your permission, but neither does the morning. This is Elara's truth. This is the thing she returns to when the loneliness becomes too heavy and the grief too sharp and the crown too cold on her head. The storm does not ask her permission, but neither does the morning. The light comes back. It always comes back, and she intends to be standing there when it does. Now, here is what you came for. Here is the part where I tell you what is waiting for you in the weeks ahead. Because Elara's story is only just beginning. In the coming weeks, you're going to see sides of Princess Elara that will break your heart open and then put it back together again more times than you can count. You will witness the night that Princess Elara sits completely alone in the great throne room, on the floor, not the throne, and speaks out loud to her mother as though she can hear her. What she says in that room, you will not forget it. You will watch as a young servant boy, no older than 12, an orphan who has worked in the castle since he was old enough to carry a tray, does something for Elara that no advisor or minister or noble has ever thought to do. And the way she responds will show you exactly who she is at her core. You will see Princess Elara make a decision that shocks the entire kingdom. A decision that every advisor tells her is wrong. A decision that costs her something she can never get back. And you will understand, as she makes it, that it is the most right thing she has ever done. You will be there for the morning when a letter arrives at the castle, a letter with no name on it, just a small pressed flower tucked inside, and you will watch Elara read it 3 times, then fold it carefully and place it against her heart. You will witness the day the kingdom doubts her, the whispers in the villages, the questions about whether someone so young, so soft-hearted, so unwilling to rule with an iron hand, can truly lead Veloria through what is coming. And you will watch what Elara does with that doubt, not how she fights it, but how she carries it and what she builds from it. You will see her give her own winter coat to a woman in the village who had none, not dramatically, not publicly, not in a way anyone was meant to see. Just quietly, simply, the way Elara does everything. You will be there for her birthday, the first one after her mother died, and what happens that day is something I do not want to spoil. But I will tell you this. It will remind you that kindness, when it comes back around, comes back in ways you never expect. Each of these stories will be told right here on this channel. Every week, a new chapter. Every week, a new piece of Elara's world. Every week, something that I genuinely believe will make you feel something real, something warm and true and deeply, quietly human. This is not just a fairy tale. This is a story about what it means to be good in a world that does not always reward goodness. What it means to keep hoping when hope feels foolish. what it means to love people, really love them, even when they cannot always love you back the way you need. Princess Elara is a fictional princess, but the things she feels, the loneliness, the grief, the stubborn, beautiful refusal to stop caring, those are the most real things in the world. And that is why I need you to stay. If something in this video moved you, if something in Elara's story felt familiar, felt true, felt like something you needed to hear today, then please, right now, hit that subscribe button. This channel is a place for people who still believe in the power of a good story. People who know that kindness matters. People who need, sometimes, to be reminded that even the longest, darkest nights eventually give way to morning. If that is you, and I believe it is, then you belong here. In the Veloria family.
Subscribe.
Turn on the bell notification. Because every single week, without fail, a new chapter of Princess Elara's story will be waiting for you. And you do not want to arrive late. And one more time, drop your state in the comments. I am serious about this. I want to see our community grow in real time. California, Texas, New York, Florida, Georgia, Illinois, Michigan, Arizona, wherever you are watching from, tell me. Let us see the map of the Veloria family together. Next week, we begin the first true story. And I promise you, from the very first word, it is going to stay with you. Until then, stay kind, stay hopeful, just like Princess Elara. We will see you in Veloria.